Graham, it's so good to see you. I hope you're doing really, really well wherever in the world you are. I'm about to record a couple of podcasts, so we're getting set up here in the studio. So this is a bit of the behind the scenes look at the studio. Let me quickly show you around. Homa, say hi. Hey. You can see the lighting setup, you can see our little studio setup. So we're recording a couple of podcasts for you. So for those of you who have been listening to On Purpose, a big, big thank you to each and every one of you. We have the one and only Priyanka Chopra on the podcast today. So if you have been watching her movies over the years, you've seen her incredible success over the years, then definitely go and check out today's podcast with Priyanka Chopra. And I wanted to come in live right now because I'm always reading your comments. I'm reflecting on what you're sharing with me. I'm intrigued by what you're struggling with, what you're working on. And I was reading a lot lately. I could see that a lot of you are struggling with procrastination, overthinking, burnout, stress. Maybe you're feeling a bit of pressure to achieve your goals. Say yes in the comments if any of that resonates or if any of that feels right. Like, how many of you feel that? Or you're overwhelmed, you're procrastinating, you're overthinking, maybe you're stressed about your goals, or 2021 hasn't been as different as you expected. And by the way, I get that, right? Like 2021 has definitely not been as different as we all would have wanted, or maybe falsely expected. But I wanted to share a story with you. And this story is a story that was shared with me, and it's from a book called The Zen of Archery. I believe that's what the name of the book is. Let me quickly type it in to make sure I'm giving you the right name of the book. I want to make sure. Zen of Archery. Let me have a look. It's Zen in the Art of Archery. Zen in the Art of Archery. That's where this story is from, and it was shared with me. And it's a really powerful story. And in this story, a student approaches a master and says, I want to learn to be an archer. And the master says, sure, let's do it. So what the master does is the master draws the bullseye on a piece of paper, sticks that paper to a tree, pins it to a tree, makes a makeshift bow, an arrow with a twig, gives it to the student and says, start to shoot. The student starts to shoot, and guess what? The student misses every shot. Right? The student just misses, fires, doesn't get it right. Now, the master asks the student a very important question because the student's getting pretty frustrated right now. The master asks the student, what is your goal? What's your goal? A really, really important question. What is your goal? The student replies, shooting and hitting the bullseye right in the middle. That's my goal. To shoot the bullseye right in the middle. That's my goal. The master laughs and says, so you're telling me that your goal is to fire this twig into the middle of that piece of paper that's stuck on the tree. That's your goal. And the student's like, yeah? And the master shares a really important wisdom. The master says, that's not your goal. That's your target. Your goal is to be so still and so grounded and so calm that you can hit your target. Think about that really carefully. Your goal is not your target. Your goal is that you can be so still, you can be so calm, you can be so focused, you can be so present that you can hit that target. When you have a target, it's a means to an end to experience your goal. Having a target is important. Having a goal is important. Having growth in your life is important. How many of you have an area of your life where you want to grow, or you have a goal, or you have a target, but you're not reaching it? Say yes in the comments if you experienced that. I'm glad you love this story. I'm really glad that you appreciate it. It's from the book that I just mentioned. The name of the book, again for all of you, is Zen in the Art of Archery. It's a beautiful book and a story that a good friend of mine shared with me. But how many of you feel that? How many of you feel you have a goal? How many of you feel you have an aim, but you feel you're not quite getting there? Every year you keep hitting the same wall. You keep hitting the same perspective. It's just not happening. I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the comments, right? I know that. I feel that too. I've been there too. And that's what I realized, that there are only 3 things needed for real change in our life. There are only 3 big things needed to make a change in our life. And I promise you, if you reflect on this, you'll find that you don't have at least one of these 3 things, if not 2. So as I share these, I want you to say yes or no as to whether you have them in your life or not, right? So these are the 3 C's of transformation needed in any goal in life. The first one is coaching. If you want to transform any area of your life, you need coaching. If you don't have coaching, if you don't have guidance, if you don't have training in your life, it's pretty much impossible to expect to achieve a goal. If I have a health goal, I need a health coach. If I have a career goal, I need a career coach. Coaching is such a critical part of changing your life. It's such a big part of my culture. It's such a big part of the investment I make. I'm always in the process of seeking out new coaches, right? So how many of you, yes or no, do you have coach in your life? When I say coach, I mean like a real coach. I don't just mean someone who gives you advice or mentorship. I mean someone who's actually coaching you, right? The second thing you need is consistency and commitment. Consistency equals commitment. If there's no consistency in your life, there's no commitment in your life. If there's no commitment in your life, there's no growth in your life. So if you've not made a commitment to consistent coaching, to consistent growth, you won't experience that change in your life. Have you ever felt that before? You start a new habit, you get into momentum, but because you didn't make a commitment to someone. I'll give you an example. I had a friend who was like, I really want to read. I want to read regularly. They started reading. They were reading for half an hour a day and they were really feeling good about it. But after about a week, it stopped. It stopped because they didn't make a commitment to a book club. They didn't make a commitment to a group that invested in that same thing. Commitment is so important. I started playing tennis lately and I made a commitment to my tennis coach. That means I always play because I'm ready there. And thirdly and finally is community. We need community for accountability. You need other people around you who have the same goals, who want to push forward and make a difference in their life. How many of you realize by listening to me right now that you want and need coaching, consistency, and community in your life? Say yes in the comments if you're listening and you're like, Jay, that's exactly what I need, right? I need coaching, consistency, and community.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.